know you.
I know, same. I'm following all the baby stuff, everything.
Okay.
She's such a cutie pie.
Thank you. She's
always smiling.
thankfully she's honestly it's crazy because she's so good. And I
Yeah.
feel like initially when I want to say when I first brought her home, when I first had her, and even now I'm like, I don't want to jinx it. Like, I don't want to jinx it because she's just.
I know. I had the same thing with Izzy and, and with Alex, actually, when they say, oh, the terrible two's coming. And I'm like, when? Like, they were both so good, So.
Well, good.
I was very lucky, yes. I was very lucky. And they both slept really well. So it was just. I think it's, they feed off of energy, I think.
100%. I absolutely agree with that. I feel like a lot of the times we can be around some of our friends who might be a little anxious or a little, and I'm always like so hesitant because I do believe in energy, and I think that as long as I'm, she's around good energy, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, thank
I'm
you.
happy to hear that.
Thank you. Okay, so my question, more than anything for you, is you are a wife, a mother of two, and your kids are relatively young. I don't know how old Alex is, but I know that
Alex is he's born in 2007, so he's 13 now.
Okay, and your little girl?
And my little girl is she's 6. She just turned 6.
Okay, and you are a gym owner who's a woman in New York City, essentially, in very close area. So how are you doing it? How?
As I always was doing it. So I think it's you kind of slowly adding things to my plate, but I think staying organized is definitely very important, and doing what you love. I think if I was doing something I didn't like, I think it would be very difficult.
Right.
I do get help from my parents.
They're here?
Yeah, they're here. They actually, my parents moved here from Russia, and they're very traditional Russian. They're very involved with kids, so they do help us a lot. So I think that definitely gave me an opportunity to do more of continue to do what I love without sort of like being consumed constantly taking care of them. So it's definitely a huge help.
And when did you move here?
I moved here almost like 20 years ago.
Okay, so you've been here for a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's such this thing in New York. Very few people are actually from here, right? Like most people, like I'm not from here. I'm not obviously from Russia, but like my husband's also from abroad. And it's truly the place that you can come and do something and, be successful if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
How are you doing now with my dog just decided to make an appearance?
Join?
He thinks he's a lap dog. He's not. How are you guys doing with
COVID and everything?
Well, I do want to know about that because I think that in New York, I mean all over, but especially here, it's a real what is it? 1 in 4 gyms are closing. It's like the numbers are serious and it's really, really scary because I don't think that people are really grasping how empty it is. If that makes sense. Like I live on the Upper West Side. You're on the Upper East Side, right?
I live on the Upper East Side.
Yeah. And it's empty.
Popping.
It's empty.
It's popping. Oh no.
On the Upper East Side it is?
Oh my God. It's like a party. It's packed. The restaurants are packed. Everything is packed. Like people are not slowing down.
Yeah.
I mean, I know city like emptied out in terms of like, Upper East Side considered like one of the expensive areas, just like Village or West Side. And I know like a big amount of people moved out of Upper East Side, but there's still deals and, people still moving here every day. And I don't know, it doesn't feel as much here on Upper East Side to me yet. And I know maybe inside the restaurants it's a little emptier, but like every restaurant is doing so well. The ice cream shops have lines around the corner.
Yeah.
You know, people don't want to stop. They don't want to sort of just sit at home, you know?
Well, everyone's been locked up for so many months. They're ready to be done. Like they're ready
like
to.
now I see more action than I've seen before in this hour. Like it's cold and people are sitting outside and having conversations and meeting with friends, because like what else do you really do? You know, there's really not much to do. You can't travel, you can't go anywhere. You know, I'm sure some people can't go back to their gyms. So you can't really, you don't want to hang out at houses. You kind of want to be outside. So I think it became like a safe haven a little bit to be outside, you know. So yeah, I feel Upper East Side, luckily, like I see life, so which is very promising, you know.
It is. It's super. I think it's really important to see life, because on the West Side, it's you could walk down the street and not see one person.
Yeah, I think once you move closer to like Lexington and Madison Avenue, Park Avenue, I feel like a lot of people maybe outside in their like second homes, which I read about, like which is what happened during the pandemic. And I know that's kind of, you would feel that a little bit, but it's always kind of empty there, you know? So it's like, oh, you know, what's new?
Just shops mostly.
Yeah, just mostly shops. But a lot of shops are closed on Madison Avenue.
Right.
Which is kind of, you notice that you can have it.
Empty windows.
Empty. And you pass by, there's nobody in stores.
Yeah, not like, same. I think if you go down like Bleecker Street down in the West Village.
Yeah.
Empty.
I mean, what are you dressing up? What are you buying a dress for? Like, where are you going? Neighbor's house? Like, where are you going?
Yeah, it's true. It's crazy. Dressing up to go to the gym. I feel like the those kind of clothes, I'm sure the sales have went up like crazy because everyone's wearing gym clothes now.
Yeah, that's why Poshmark is doing so well.
I bet. I'm sure they are. Okay, so I'm curious, and I think that because this is like I'd like to kind of, I guess, dive into how women have figured it out, right? So you have figured it out. You are a successful business owner, entrepreneur, woman, and I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You might know better. That the gym industry, the fitness industry in general, is kind of a male-dominated, business-owned industry. So you're a gym that's owned by a female. And you do well. Like I've heard of it. It's a known CrossFit box in New York City. I know a handful of your athletes, which is also, I'm sure, part of why I know it. But juggling it all, and now the kids are home. The kids are at school, homeschooling, half and half. What's up?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I definitely took a bite of like what it's like to be a gym owner since 2013. That's when I opened the gyms, and you know there was tough times, good times, but like I said, staying very organized and kind of having a goal and having a vision in your business, that's very important. And I think during these tough times, we really learned that businesses that really surviving or like doing good are the businesses that really separated themselves by having a good customer service, by having more of a community, more like a family-like feeling than just gyms where you go, you pay a membership and in and out, right? So like there's really no reason for you to stay. There's no reason for you to stick around. There's no reason for you to like help or, kind of give sort of hope to a business owner by saying, oh, I'll be back. Like here, I knew exactly who's coming back, who's not coming back, what's the situation, what they're waiting for. So in that sense, like, I feel like it's easier for us now in that sense because we have such a tight community. So we're like, I know we're going through hard times, but I know exactly what I have. I know there's people not going anywhere. They need me as much as I need them. Like I'm there for them. I want them, people struggling with anxiety and going through really hard times. Everybody's struggling with something, So they need us just as much as we need them. So we like they're a place for them to come in and get their frustration out, get the workout in, feel good about themselves, continue working on their fitness goals and being, fitter, feel better, feel stronger. So, still have some sort of like attachment, So I have to say, like, this pandemic obviously was super, super tough on small business owners, because we haven't really gotten, no matter what balance sheet we have, like, it was really, really hard to get any kind of help. And the help that we did get, like, it wouldn't even carry us more than a month.
It's crazy.
So it was really tough. So really relying on our community and knowing that we're going to be okay, that really, really helped us, So now that we are still in recovery mode, we feel like the worst is behind. We have, people are committed to working out. We have, we're dealing with capacity issues because we want to still maintain, X amount of people within our walls, just to be very careful. But at least we know our potential. We know, we have growth opportunities. We are in the area where people need the gym, want the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And once I start promoting, we will have more members. So right now we're just worrying more about safety of our existing members rather than trying to grow.
Right. What is you got our gyms at 25% capacity now?
At 25% capacity, yeah. So we just focusing on right now and just kind of like keeping it safe, making sure everyone is happy and taken care of, and coming to the gym. We have a good touch with everyone in our gym. Like, we know who's here, who's not here, who hasn't been here in a while, why you haven't been here in a while, what's going on, So in that sense, and like I said, in these times you really learn if you're really doing what you love, because you got to do this thing for months without getting paid, So going through these times, you really realize, yes, I do have a passion for this. I do love what I do. I'm enjoying this. This doesn't feel like a job. This feels like my life. So it feels easy. It feels no effort. Like, I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm more having fun. I'm always around people I love. There's absolutely everyone in our gym. Like I said, like, everybody likes each other. Like, everyone is so cool, and our community is just like so awesome. So like, it just doesn't feel like work, So in that sense, I'm not stressed out. I wake up, I'm excited, I have so much to do. I have this to do. I have workout to complete. I have these people coming to work out with me. Like, I know all these new people coming. So it's like, there's always this like excitement, in the morning. So, and I think that's very important. Like, I really learned during these times, okay, I really love what I do. I don't do it for the money. I feel like if I do it and I put my heart into it, everything else will come. And it does come,
Well, that, and it's also 2 points to that. It's like, at this time, people really need something to look forward to. So having that, that hour of day or whatever it is, their community, their time, because it's like, now people, for the most part, are just kind of stuck at home, working remotely. And they get out to go to the gym, and then they go home and they work again, or whatever their schedule is. This is the gym is their purpose. Exactly. And then the other part of that is, I think, which I think was so frustrating this whole time, why certain things were open, like, I don't know, the strip club, or whatever is open, but gyms weren't. And it's like, this is truly it helps with so many, aside from mental, physical, like, there's just so many positives to the gym and fitness. It didn't make any sense why they had closed it down for so long. And there were just so many businesses that had closed. So at this point, it's like, I hope that they realize how important it is.
Right. I mean, it's also like, we're dealing with a pandemic of a disease that nobody knows nothing about. Like, I'm sure officials don't know how to handle this. Like, for them, it's like, oh, people breathing heavily and sweating. It's like spreading the germs. Like, well, that's not how it is. But I could see it. You feel that it is dangerous, like, because people are breathing so heavy, and, it's hard for them to maintain mask on and all that other stuff. So, like, however, like, we have better grasp on our facility and taking care of it than you going to Trader Joe's and grabbing the same card that somebody else was grabbed 2 minutes ago. Nobody cleaned it. Nobody wiped it.
Yeah.
Like, you're touching things that everybody else is touching. So like our business is no more dangerous than any other businesses, maybe even less dangerous, because the owners really treat it like their home. I treat it like my home. I come in, I make sure everything's clean, I make sure, rules are maintained, I make sure I have the right disinfectant, I have soap always, I have this, I have that.
Yeah.
Like, no other businesses that I know that are like, where you have people coming in is really taking that kind of care,
Yeah.
But, I guess it was a good thing because I feel like even as a gym owner, we're doing more now, and it definitely was a positive. I see it as a big positive event. It maybe took a little too long. It didn't have to drag that long.
Yeah.
But I see it as a positive thing. I've learned. I've learned a lot, and I do things a little different. It was a lesson, but even the way we approach the business, even the way we think of it as the growth opportunity, opportunity to shift and make yourself not so vulnerable to physical location and stuff like that. So in many things, I think it really pushed us in so many other directions to learn and to explore other opportunities and, to make your brand stronger, especially the times when you are trying to survive. Like that's the time to like, okay, how can we make ourselves better?
Yeah.
How can we stand out? How can we differentiate ourselves for people to see, okay, this gym is different. This gym does care. This gym really, does things well. So for us, it was a fantastic opportunity. And we said, okay, if we are doing less of this, let's do more of this.
Right.
As that's all we can do right now. So like we tried not to waste time.
And you guys are doing virtual classes and offering.
We're not doing virtual. No, we're not doing virtual classes. Zoom is just like, we're not enjoying it.
Okay, fair.
If we're not enjoying it, we're not trying to do it.
Okay.
So Zoom is something we're not doing it, and I'm not sure if we're going to continue doing it. We're just not planning for it.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it kind of seemed like unless you, not you, but as a gym or a fitness instructor or a personal trainer or whatever it is, unless you already had a relatively large following, everything just went virtual. And it's like, it was impossible. Like there were just so many free workouts, free this, free that, free.
Yeah.
It was a free for all. So it's like, it was nearly impossible unless you had that following to give something and get any sort of return on it.
Yeah, and people didn't want to pay because why would they? Because somebody else was doing it for free.
Yeah.
So, plus, it's just a difference. It's not our business model. And it just, we tried really hard, and it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like we wanted to do it. We didn't feel like we were given the product that we want to give. That's not what we do. That's just not the kind of training we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, if you have a rack and you have plates and you have this, yes, we can do this. But like, it's just not what we do.
Yeah.
And people do get tired of it, So we wanted to look into something that has longevity, and we just didn't see much of a, investing too much into it.
Yeah.
So that during the pandemic, we really, as soon as we were able to, we basically brought entire gym outside. We slapped 4,000 pounds. We're like, you know what? We're not going to do Zoom. We're going to take 4,000 pounds of weights, and we're going to bring it to the park every day. So, we did it every other day because it was exhausting, but people enjoyed it because they really felt like they were at the gym.
Yeah.
And we brought so much weights. People were deadlifting, doing Zercher squats, we're doing all kinds of real stuff workouts that you can't do at home on the Zoom. You can't do it unless you come to our classes. So we've done really well outside. We've had amazing showing. We had 50, 60, 70 people a day attending our outside classes. We were having fun. It was a lot of work, slapping it 4 times a day. But it was so worth it. It was so worth it because we were able to have a gym for 2 months.
Actual class. Like it wasn't so much of what was going, you were able to maintain your mission.
They were coming in. They had with the way we broke it down, we had one coach teaching half an hour strength, followed by half an hour conditioning.
Mhm.
And we will bring in everything: wall balls, kettlebells, dumbbells.
So real quick, so I know that you have a CrossFit box, but tell a little about your gym, your website, your handle, so I can add in here so people can see. Yeah, because I'm very familiar with what you do, but people watching might not be.
Yeah. So by the way, we used to be a CrossFit gym.
Okay.
So we dropped CrossFit affiliation.
Okay.
And we actually strength and conditioning gym, which
Okay.
we always were.
Yeah.
But we had affiliation so people could do open workouts, but we never really kind of followed their philosophy too much. So we had our own, structure and our own way of doing things. So when, this whole CrossFit thing went down, we just like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for us. We felt like it was slightly, not aligning with our vision of what we want to do, how we want to do it. We're more of a strength gym. We are like a powerlifting accredited gym, so we are more into those type of workouts. Plus, obviously, we do conditioning workouts. So we were like, oh, this is perfect opportunity. So
Amazing.
We dropped it, and we Concrete Jungle Strength and Conditioning, and we plan to stay as that. So our website is concretejunglebronx.com. Our handle on Instagram, Facebook, Concrete Jungle Bronx, and same thing with the website.
Cool.
So yeah, and so we keep doing what we're doing. The same thing we're doing outside. Now we're inside. We, immediately as we open, we focus more on rebuilding strength that we lost. So
it's a real thing during this time.
Yes, absolutely. So it's we've been focusing on that since then. Power cord.
And how did you, because I remember initially when you reached out a couple years back, how did you originally get into fitness, this gym thing? How did that all come?
So I originally started in 2013. I partnered with a coach of mine, and I was really inspired by the industry. I was actually in finance at the time.
Okay.
I was a little bored just doing, I've never really had one job. I was multiple jobs. I just like that, so I was still in finance, and I wanted to do something else in addition to it. I wanted to have something else going on. And, I added a couple of things to my, to my jobs, and one of them was gym. And we opened a gym in 2013. And eventually the location, we stayed there for 3 years, and then I moved to 87th Street, and we worked there together. And then eventually, I separated and I started my own thing, and eventually ended up in the Bronx, and I've been there ever since.
And you're so happy with the change, I'm sure.
I'm so happy with the change, and I think during this pandemic it worked out even better. Just being sort of being in the Bronx, give a little more space. The cost is definitely less than being in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really hard to pull those kind of, costs in Manhattan, So, so it worked out really well, and I really love the community, and I love the people, and it's just a completely different vibe than what I had before.
Is it different being, because when I think about it, one gym that I worked for at one point when I first kind of got in the industry, it was husband-wife owned, mm-hmm. but the wife is the one that called the shots.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know any other women-owned, ran mm-hmm. gyms I can think of.
I don't know either in New York, actually. I don't know any.
Especially not and a lot of the I know a lot of and maybe it's because I'm a female, but some strength coaches that are females that are they're the best of the best. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting why there aren't very many female-owned gyms.
Mm-hmm. I feel I know one, and it was also wife and a husband. So yeah, I partnered up with I ran it for a while by myself, and then last year I invited to partner up with my head coach, mm-hmm. who's fantastic, whose vision is just really redefined of what we do, and I really loved what he was about, and it just felt like such a good harmony. And ever since, it's been an incredible journey for us because, we very much respect our skill set. We respect, what everyone sort of contributes to this business. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and it's just such a compliment, to each other. So it's been a really, really great partnership for me, and I think for him as well. And because we have that, it really pushed us to like really grow, in the last 2 years since 2019, since we partnered. So, but again, I carry my own responsibilities like I always did, and he's in charge of our programming and in charge of, coaching and stuff like that. So, it's been a really, really great journey for us, and we have so excited. We have so many different plans. We're working on different projects. We constantly brainstorming. We constantly want to do new things. We try to think outside of the box and like, what's next? What's next? What do we do next? Like, we just have this like thirst and hunger for like doing new things. So yeah, but like I said, I don't know any other gyms that have the gyms that I know actually ran either by a big group, or by male, or by 3 males, or 2 males. And the gym that I knew, I think, is closed. That was a wife and a husband.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was so curious to get your take on it. Like being a female in a male-dominated industry is because I remember at one point I think that when you're a strong female, people look at you very differently. Like males and females look at you very differently, right? Like, so when I was coaching before, it was really, it was weird because at one point I was kind of afraid or nervous of like, so for example, I was coaching rowing at one point, and I'm a small little chick. And I was really nervous that, the rowers are typically huge, these huge people. And the other people that would teach that we ended up hiring for teaching rowing was also like, they were ex-rowers, or they, were these big guys or big girls or whatever. And it was funny because I ended up being like one of the top coaches because all the rowers, they had the coxswain, and which were like small people our size. Because I don't know if you're familiar with the way rowing works, but basically the coxswain's the one, it's like normally a little girl who it like weighs nothing, or, is very small, and just yells and screams and curses and swears at these rowers to get their asses moving. And so it was funny because a lot of rowers ended up coming to my class because I was like a taste of, home for them or comfort or whatever. So it's funny how I think that things typically end up not being exactly what you imagine, maybe.
Right.
So that's why I'm
comfort zone. You found, what you're good at, and you end up bringing your own sort of style and flair into it. People are like, oh, I'm actually getting an amazing workout. That's ultimately the only goal, is for people to get a great workout.
Exactly.
And also our philosophy is, for us, fitness is also an education. Like, we want you, every time you come, we want you to know why you're doing this, what you're doing, and why you're doing this, and why you have to do it this way,
Yeah.
Because if things happen and you end up going somewhere else, we want you to know how to work out. We want you to, keep us proud until the rest of your life, We want you to know how to work out. So yeah, you found what you're good at, and, sometimes it's not even about you being so amazing at doing it. It's how you teach people, right?
Very often that's what it is, more than anything.
So, like, you might not be able to do a snatch, but you are very good at teaching it. You have the eye to see people, how they move their hands and where their head is and where the knees are and all those things. Like, you could be very good at teaching it, but you don't necessarily need to be amazing and snatching 200 pounds.
Right.
So, and coaching is definitely a skill.
That is for sure. What is something that you've learned when it comes to that is just, whether it's the coaching aspect, the business aspect, whatever it is that you just feel like, I can't, like, I'm so happy I learned this, I can't live without it?
As a coach or as a business owner?
Both, maybe.
Both. I mean, I think still in the last 2 years, particularly, because I'm at a place where I'm really happy with everything, with partnership, with location, with my clients. Like, it's just like I'm in such a harmony within myself. And I feel like I'm doing exactly what I should be doing. I'm applying the skills that I have. Because I'm in this position, I do feel I've learned like no way before that when you put your heart into it, people dig that,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
They see it.
Yeah, they feel it, they see it, they see the sincerity of it, and they want that, and they want this part of their life. So I've learned the importance of customer service and caring and, you know, really caring about people rather than your pocket, you know? And when you do that, your pocket gets filled.
Exactly.
You know? Not the other way around. So that this is something I've learned. I've never learned at any other job. You know, I've worked in restaurants. I've obviously spent my whole life in Wall Street, a completely different situation, and, you know, in being in fitness. But I think it applies everywhere, you know, no matter where it is. So that was probably the biggest lesson for me. But, you know, I've also learned the importance of, you know, being good at selling, being good at, it doesn't matter how good you are, if you can't express it, if you can't tell people why you're good, you know, it's very hard to excel. So being good at delivering that message in the right way and really, you know, being able to tell a story, you know, that's also very, very important. And that's something, you know, I probably spent time learning more during the pandemic. You know, I said, okay, let me learn this. Let me learn how to add more skills to myself. So like I've spent time learning new things and learning new skills. So those probably were very, very important lessons for me. And just, you know, really caring about people, you know.
Sincerely,
really about
actually, yes.
Yeah, in fitness it is about, you know, people's needs and you know, you might not necessarily walk in. Yes, we have people come in and say, hey, I just want a six pack, and, you know, I want, you know, bigger legs and bigger backs, you know, like you got to be able to give them comfort that, okay, it is possible, but you got to put a lot of work. It's on you. Like there's so much we can do. Like this is on you, and you got to be patient, and you got to put the work in. And, you know, people get demotivated, and, you know, just being there to help them go through these ups and downs, you know, and plateaus, and not seeing the results, and then seeing the results and not seeing the results. It's like such a roller coaster. But you know, it's a lot of customer service, you know, and you gotta like people to do that, you know. And I know people that are in fitness industry and they don't like people, and this is when you just can't survive. Eventually the nature will come out. Eventually
you can only fake it for so long.
Exactly. So like eventually you're just gonna get sick of it yourself, you know, and everything starts to annoy you. So like once you do it year after year after year, and you see, okay, I like what I do, I enjoy people, you know. So you know, you're like, okay, I'm happy, you know. So that's another lesson I've learned. I've really realized, like, I can do this, and I don't feel like it's my job. So that's something I've learned more during the pandemic.
Well, and I think that's the key with finding how do you live your life, right? Like, because it's very easy to just go to a job every single day, and, you know, you have the 9 to 5, and then your outside hours are for this or that or whatever. But it's like, do you really want to be 40, 50, 60 and spending your time doing that, where you could just, you know, spend your time doing something that you feel stimulated by, or you're learning from, or you're, you know, getting a little bit more out of?
Yeah. And that's why Zoom, I don't have connection with people on Zoom. Like,
totally.
People join with their screens, no video. Like, I can't teach no screen. I can't teach no face. Like, I cannot stand it. I cannot stand Zoom. Like, this is just not me. And we all said, listen, this is not what we do. We're going to let other people that have been doing this for
let them
years,
have it.
let them have it. That's their market share. Let them do what they do well with the proper lighting and the proper angles and all that stuff. Like, no, I cannot do this. I do not enjoy it. Not because I cannot do it. I can't do it. I just don't enjoy it.
Right.
I don't enjoy speaking to a screen and having no feedback, you know? So, yeah, that's definitely we've learned that we do not like Zoom.
Well, it's a learning process.
So we're like, we'd rather wait it out until things are back to normal than, do this like half-ass job.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out other ways how to give workouts. We'll make sure everybody has equipment at home, and we'll give them guidance. But just Zoom. If we have to, we will. But we're just not.
Luckily, you don't have to yet.
Right. Hopefully, no. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. It's the fitness industry here is so. It's such a weird industry because it's like there's so, and I'm sure it happens elsewhere, but here especially. And I think this touches back on your point of how you continuously learn, where here there's so many people that look the part, but they really don't know what they're doing. So it's really challenging for, I think, customers or people who want to make a change or people who want to become healthier or they want that six-pack or they want, whatever it is that they're looking for. They find someone that they aspire to look like and they think that they can help them. So they put their trust in them, and that person doesn't always come through. And I think that that's why it's really, sometimes gyms have a hard time because then they end up, that's why you have to sell yourself or convince them, no, like I'm educated, we know what we're doing, we can actually help you. Because it's very easy in New York City, like I've witnessed it so many times, people don't have the certifications or the qualifications and I mean, I don't think that you necessarily need a certification to be certified, like to be qualified. Yeah. But I do think that you need the experience having gone through things. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but for me personally, having gone through a pregnancy and a postpartum and all this, I would never have a male trainer who hasn't gone through it, even if he's taken the certification, because he doesn't know, he just
doesn't know what it feels like.
He has no idea. And I've seen men who train pregnant women or recently postpartum, and I'm like, why on earth would you have a woman do that? And why isn't she saying, hey, this is uncomfortable or this doesn't feel right or, whatever. So anyhow, I just feel like it's really hard to find a honest, caring gym. So when you find it, like a gym who's actually a community that's willing to offer all these things, it's really nice. So your members are lucky.
Yes. Yeah. No, I hope so. I hope they see the value because we really put a lot of thought into it. I know exactly what it takes Serge to plan each week. And he analyzes, he literally thinks of people that actually came to the gym and how they felt, and he gets feedback and listens to what people say, and he puts a lot of thought into how he plans the next week and things the week before. It's not just some random, oh, this looks fun, this looks hard, this is gonna destroy them and leave them on the floor. Like, that's not how we think. Like, we want to make sure you have enough energy to come to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. Like, our goal is not to have you dine every day. Like, we don't want you fatigued all the time. We want to make sure you have some gas in the tank every time you come in to build your strength. So yeah, it is very hard because I think it became such a norm for so many gyms to create the workouts that just destroy you rather than, build strength. Like, why are we doing 300 reps? Like, is it necessary? Like, we like people over 30, like our joints are not going to last forever. Like, why are we doing 400 reps every day? Like, so again, it became such a norm to come to this like half dying experience every time. And we don't particularly believe in that, like we look at it a little bit different. Do we have those kind of tough workouts? Yeah, once in a while, of course, maybe once a week we'll do something, not meant to be finished always, but it does test your endurance and ability to keep going. But it's just not something that should be, a norm every day. It's very hard to find good trainers for sure. I mean, there are a lot of great trainers, but there are also a lot of trainers that, were doing the same thing for many years, without trying to educate themselves, without trying to learn why you do certain things, why this, not that, why is this better to do for women and this way to do for men. Like if you do, incline bench rows, like why you do it this way for men and why you do it this way for women, just plain physiology, So if they don't take the time to learn, it's just going to take a toll, and somebody's like, oh, they don't really pay attention to that,
Yeah.
So we try to, obviously, we always learn. Do we know everything? No. We don't know a lot, but we always learn. We try to learn from other people. We try to learn from other companies. We try to learn from each other, first and foremost. We like to be there and present to see each other coach. I feel like you always learn something new. It's like, oh, I like how he does this, or I like how she does it. I'm going to take that. I like that warm-up. I like this. I think this warm-up is great for bench. Like we're there to sort of learn from each other every day because we all have our own skills and our own strengths. So, yeah, very, very hard to, and I think because it is so hard to find the right trainer, some of these trainers, they do go after those like fab ideas, like even with diets, right? So if somebody comes to me and say, listen, I want to lose 40 pounds, if I'm going to put you on 1,000-calorie diet and even not give you the right workouts, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose 30 pounds within a month, right? But there's no longevity in it. Your body hasn't changed.
A quick fix is not the answer.
Right, and your body is just in a complete shock, and you're losing weight, and you think, oh my God, my training is so amazing. Like, no, he just cut your carbs, and you're not eating enough, and you have no strength, and you have no energy to do anything, Again, we look at it from a very different point of view. We're not trying to make you, suddenly starve. Just make tiny little adjustments. What do you eat? Oh, you eat plantains with your meals? Just take that out. Keep everything else. Enjoy your food. Keep everything out. Just take plantains. What, you drinking Diet Coke? Just take that out. Everything else keep. Just keep eating what you're eating. Increase your intensity. Increase your workouts. But keep eating what you're eating. And then we'll take something else out, And then once they start to see the results that come from the workouts, that come from intensity, from consistency, then they're like, what else can I do to make my results even better? And it forces them to make further adjustments. Not because I told you suddenly, no, you're going to eat from 3,000 calories, you're going to eat 1,000. You're stressed out, you're hungry, you have no energy, and you eventually screw this, I'm unhappy, and I'm not progressing in my workouts either, So it's how you approach that. It's how you look at it as a long term, So that's very important, not to make a quick buck. Again, it's like people trying to make a quick buck. Sell that 10-pack. Let me get you that 10-pack. And then God knows if you're going to even survive 10 classes. One,
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting thing because I feel like you've probably also seen it in this industry where, and I think that it's a big positive now, especially in your strength and conditioning world, where women are more inclined, they want to gain muscle. And they want to be strong rather than, oh, I want to get skinny. Right. And so it's really cool because I feel like a lot of women that I was dealing with for the last 8 years or so, like I've seen the progression of, I want to be skinny. I want to be, this little thing. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But they're like, this is a healthier option for you and for your longevity. And probably a happier option because you should eat and you should, be able to nurture your body. It shouldn't be starvation. It shouldn't be deprivation. It should be giving your body things that it wants and needs. So it's been cool to see how women want to get stronger and they want to lift more and that kind of stuff. Do you see it?
Yeah, and I mean, people do put a lot of thought into aesthetics. I think it's very important. We do have clients come in and say, "Hey, I just want to lose 30 pounds," and I could see they do want to lose 30 pounds, and it's probably going to be very beneficial for them to feel better and healthier. But for that point, not necessarily aesthetics. Like I know they'll feel better about themselves. They'll have more energy. They'll move better. They'll feel better. Their knees will feel better.
Yeah.
And joints. So they come in. They want to lose 30 pounds to feel better, but they also want to look better.
Right.
So yes, we want to help to achieve that goal first and foremost. But I've never had anybody come in and say, I just want to be skinny. Not once anybody said that. They say, I want to grow muscle, because they also know once they grow muscle, they're going to lose fat. And eventually, they're going to probably get to physique that they want. And once they start the process, they're also going to realize, and that's what happens all the time, they realize, oh, but I also want to keep growing in my strength. I keep squatting more and more and more.
Yeah.
But you can't keep squatting more and more and more and more if you keep losing more and more and more and more, right? So at some point they're like, oh, okay, great. I think I've reached my weight goal where if I'm going to start keep losing it, I'm going to not have any strength.
Right.
So now they're like, okay, I don't want to lose anymore. Now I want to keep gaining a little bit of the right weight. I want to gain more muscle so I can get to my 230-pound squat,
Yeah.
And it becomes more of a athleticism, It becomes more about being an athlete. It's becoming more about being a person that has a fitness goal rather than aesthetics. They stop focusing on their aesthetics. They start focusing on their strength, and aesthetics come. Eventually, aesthetics come.
It's really cool to see that with people, with clients, and people. I feel like just people in general.
All of a sudden, you're doing a pull-up, and you're like, what is that back? Where did that come from? Like, I wasn't even training my back. Like, I was focusing on,
deadlifts or whatever.
I was trying to increase my deadlifts or push press or whatever. Like, I've been trying to grow my push press or working on my pull-ups, and all of a sudden, like, this, like, amazing back happening, or like this quads. I was just squatting and doing, all this, like, accessory work, and all of a sudden, my legs are, like, looking gorgeous, So, like, not trying to focus on aesthetics, but rather strength is what's happening a lot right now. And we try to promote that as well. We're trying to not stress out yourself about trying to get that six-pack, because you don't need to do that. Just focus on general fitness and six-pack will come, or some definition of it,
Right. Yeah, I think it's really just about being consistent.
Yes.
And creating those habits, that regularity, because
exactly.
It's like a lot of people that I speak with, their response is normally to me, well, you must be really strict with your diet and blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I just do more good than bad. Like, I have a horrible sweet tooth. Like, I eat sweets like a little kid. Like,
right.
But I eat more good foods. Like, so I feel like it's just finding that balance of having more good than bad. And if you derail, it's okay. Just do good, but it's okay to do bad.
Exactly. And training your body to respond to those foods eventually, So, yeah, I love pancakes. I love all that stuff. I try not to promote too much because I do have clients that I'll have to cut down on that, but eventually they realize, hey, I'm actually good most of the time, and sometimes I'll go and indulge and it doesn't do anything to me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Amazing, you don't, and I never promote to take out this and that and this. I just like, okay, I know some things like you should not drink Diet Coke.
Yeah.
It's just purely chemical. Like, it's not good for you,
Totally.
I feel like it affects other parts of your body. Like I'll say, don't do that. Just like cut it out. It's not good for you. Drink more water. Learn that new habit.
Replace it with something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll recommend something else and like really focus on getting rid of this habit. But in terms of food, I'll ask what exactly you eat. Let's adjust this. Like, just try not to have that. I'll pick like the worst thing that they're doing, or see if we can adjust that. And that just one little change usually makes a huge dent.
Huge difference. I was just talking with someone about this, about how most people, their calories are being drank. So if they can, or I guess drank through salads, like the dressing, the toppings, the sodas, the, Gatorades, whatever, all that stuff. Like, if people can just have salads with less dressing or just water or, low calorie, I think that people underestimate how much they're just drinking their calories.
They're drinking the calories, exactly. Like,
and they don't realize it because they think it just goes through them,
right.
But it doesn't.
Exactly. Like, coffees and lattes and all kinds of mochas and
all the sugar, all that crap, it just sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, like, some people are like always trying to lose weight, and they're cutting their calories so much that eventually their bodies sort of like stop responding, and they're living on 1,000 calories and they can't lose weight.
Insane.
So you have to do this like sort of like a reverse dieting to train their body again to adjust to this like calorie intake, So yeah, you just have to slowly take adjustments, I think, and you'll eventually get what you need, And people need to understand it takes time. Everything takes time,
Well, speaking of time, and because I know a handful of people who've actually made the transition from, I guess, collared lawyer, finance, business professional to the fitness world. How long did that take you to make that transition into fully fitness professional?
Well, it kind of happened. I have to say, finance is what gave me an opportunity to be a business owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a disposable income, and I was like, I would like to own a gym. I don't want partners. I want to do myself. So in that sense, I think it was I'm blessed that I had that job, and it gave me a lot of opportunities to do and invest and do things that I wanted to do. So it gave me that freedom.
Right.
So I opened the first gym, and then eventually 2 years later, I opened a second location. So I opened it in 2013, and I left Wall Street in 2017. So I still did.
You were juggling for a while.
I was juggling, and it was really, really tough. It was really tough because I wanted to be active, and I was active, and it was really, really hard for me to juggle because at my job, I had to be 100% committed to the job. And it was really, really tough. So in 2014, I didn't feel happy anymore at what I was doing. I felt like, I felt like I was at the age where it's like, okay, if I don't make the switch now, I'm just going to be unhappy. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was changing me. Like I was irritated, aggravated, all those things. I really didn't like waking up.
You just didn't have the patience for it.
Yeah, I didn't have the patience. I didn't want to be working for anybody. Like I didn't enjoy having bosses and meetings and managers and stuff, like all that stuff. I was like, I want to work for myself. I want to have my own schedule. If I want to have my computer and have a lunch outside, like that's what I want to do. Like at any time I want. If I want to have a nap, I want to have a nap. So I literally quit because I wanted to have naps. I remember saying that, like, I really want to have a nap, and I can never have a nap on the trading floor. So
I get it.
Now I'm so busy, I don't even have naps. But so I was so happy, and I remember after I quit, I literally a day later, I was like at 11 o'clock in the morning with my laptop, doing something creative in the coffee shop next to my house, and I was just like, oh my God, this is life. This is amazing. Like I'm having so much time, and like telling everybody how much I'm enjoying it, like just having my own schedule. And then just like from that point, it just like felt right,
Good. That's
exciting. I never looked back. I never missed the money. I never missed anything. Like it was just like, why didn't I do it sooner?
That's amazing.
So
good.
It was a very sudden change, but it was perfect.
Nice. I'm happy to hear, because I know that, and I'm happy to hear that everything has been for a better for you, like to the positive, because.
Well, we're trying to make of it as positive.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, it was really tough. It definitely took a huge toll. And actually, our gym from 2019, we had a huge growth, and up until we closed, it was just like, I remember having a conversation. It was like, oh my God, we're doing so great. Mm-hmm. Like, look how much we've accomplished since 2019. We're doing so amazing. From this point, it's only up, and it's literally went to zero. Just like, it was just like, boom. Like, out of nowhere. Like, nobody saw that coming.
It's insane.
It was just like a hammer on your head, and you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, And then all of a sudden we're like trying to survive. I'm like, what? Like, why are we in this situation? Like, what did we do wrong? You know, and then you just realize nothing you did wrong. It was out of your control. It's everybody in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have, we just said, okay, if that's what it is, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Out of our control. We just have to make the best out of it. We just try to make the best out of it and stay calm and still try to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I think if you do it right, you can figure this out. And, I do give a lot of credit to our clients because they were there for us and, they stuck with us and they're still with us, so that was definitely and played the big role in our sort of future.
Yeah, your survival.
Right. So in that sense, it's been really rewarding to see, us come together,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's an understatement for me to say it's been crazy because it's been.
Yeah. But I think the whole fitness industry is just going to be a whole new situation because so many gyms close, so many big gyms that you never thought would close, that were like gyms that you're like, oh my God, they're like a competition I can't even compete with.
Yeah.
Like they just big houses, like with like all these people coming in, but like all of a sudden they're like closing and you're like, what is going on? Like the little shops are the ones that are like surviving, the ones that are having the tight costs and having very tight structure and very low budget, very cost effective businesses are the ones that are really surviving, and so yeah, it's very, very sad to see what's happening, because you can't have too many gyms. You literally can't. There's enough fish in the water. Like we can all eat and be happy and grow. Like there's not enough gyms. Anyway, in Manhattan, not enough gyms, and in the Bronx, not enough gyms. So there should be more, and now it's like, who's left? Like there's so many gyms that are closing. So I think there's going to be a whole new era of like new gyms opening up. And maybe doing things different, or I don't know. I don't even know what's coming, but something is coming for sure.
Yeah.
So, and it is sad what's happening, but it's also exciting to see what's going to be next. Because we need gyms. People need gyms.
Yeah, it's weird, because it's I still can't quite wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like people that I speak with, whether they're friends or family or whoever, random people I see, whatever, it's like some people really like this virtual thing, but I just couldn't imagine. Like I just for me, you go to the gym, you have your community, you have actual stuff, but the other part of it is maybe these people, I don't know, I can't imagine not going to a physical place, because the other part of that is when you're in your apartment, in a house, whatever, how do you go to work and you do work. You go to a restaurant and you eat. You go to the gym and you work out. Like you have these things that are separate because you find that motivation when you're in that place. So for me, it's really difficult to find motivation to work out at home.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be part of this whole thing until things are 100%.
Yeah.
There are going to be always people that be like, oh, I'm not feeling quite safe, And rightfully so. They could have an 80-year-old grandmother in the house, like, or whatever. Whatever the situation is, whatever exposure they have, they might never feel comfortable until it is over, until that grandma has a vaccine,
Yeah.
So until we really arrive to that point where, okay, I think we are good. I think I'm not a threat. I think those people are not a threat. I see those people pulling their mask down. Okay, like maybe I shouldn't come to the gym. Like, until we have that under control, we're always going to have people who's going to opt out for the virtual, and that's okay. Everyone has to arrive to that comfort zone where they feel, happy and safe to go back to the gym. We're just going to have to wait and see, how long it takes. We don't know. We're obviously prepared to wait, and we're okay to wait until everyone feels safe. We have members that didn't come back yet still because, some of our members live with their parents. So.
Right. To be extra safer.
So some of our members just came back. Some members still not back. some members come only for 2 weeks because when they go visit parents, the parents make them quarantine for 2 weeks. So like
Right.
they can't even fully commit to the gym. But it's understandable situation, people have conditions and all that stuff. So, I think it's normal. And I don't know if those people really enjoy working out at home. I can't imagine doing it all by yourself. And like, you can't really lift heavy. You can't,
Right.
You're very limited. You have 2 pieces of equipment. Like, you'll get bored. Like,
100%.
as good of a coach you're going to be, there's so much you can do with 2 dumbbells and a kettlebell, like,
Yeah.
like you can't do other things. You can't do a lot of cardio. You can't do running. You can't do any of it. So,
Right.
plus it's noise. You live in Manhattan. Nobody wants you jumping around. So, like, you can't bring a rack into your apartment. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, but there are also people that enjoy that kind of like a light sort of dumbbell workout. So
Right.
I think those people might be okay for good, but it's just not for me, like,
Yeah, it's a very
I would get
curious time. I think that you're right with saying that it's like it's an exciting time to see what's to come because
bored. Yeah.
there's just so much unknown, but there is so much potential because there is a need with all these places that have closed.
Right. Yeah. So I think group fitness is always going to have a future
Mm-hmm.
because it has aspect of social aspect,
Yeah.
But there are always going to be people that want to work on their aesthetics and they just want to go to the gym and use the machines. They're also going to be that. I think those gyms will always do well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always go and follow someone else's program and get things done.
Yeah.
But you have to be so motivated and so organized,
Disciplined.
and disciplined. And not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can even do that all the time. Like, and I own the gym, and I don't think I can constantly go and use the machines and be with my headphones and be like motivated day in and day out. Like,
Yeah.
I need people. Like, I need
Totally.
people. I need to tell people what I just did. I need you to know how much I squatted, and I need you to tell me, damn, girl, that's good. Like, who am I going to tell this to?
Well, and I think that that's why this social media thing, like it's been so wild postpartum because it's like we're amidst COVID. It's so hard to find the motivation to work out when your body's broken in half.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, I'm just going to post it. Like, I'm just going to post my workout because if I don't, I'm not going to find the motivation. I need to keep myself accountable, and this is the only way I can.
Right. No, I mean, I think you posting, I'm 100% sure it motivated so many women.
Well, I hope.
No,
It motivated me, which was my biggest concern.
I was doing the same thing, and I was listening because I followed one lady. I don't even know. She's from North Carolina, and I started following her when she got pregnant. And I wasn't even pregnant, and I started following her, and I just literally followed her entire pregnancy. And I felt like we knew each other. We talked all the time. I never met her. I followed the whole thing, and then she gave birth, and I saw how she was doing it after. So when I had easy, I literally used her as an example. I was like, no, she did it. I can do it.
Yeah.
I kept working out, and she followed me. And as I was going through my pregnancy, I worked out up until I gave birth, and I gave birth, and then like 2 weeks later, I personally was able to work out.
Yeah.
I had a regular, delivery. So I was working out 2 weeks later, and I was just like telling people like, it's amazing like how much strength you lose during delivery. Like, it doesn't matter how easy and short delivery is. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. It takes the life out of you. I lost 30% of my strength, not because I was off for 2 weeks, but because I gave birth. I don't even know where that strength went. It just like left my body.
It's crazy.
So I was not depressed, but I was like, how could I lose that much strength? I was just deadlifting 250. All of a sudden, I'm deadlifting 150. Like, how? I didn't do anything.
It's so like heartbreaking because you worked so hard.
Yeah.
And then
body was,
just
like distorted. I look horrible. Like, I just like, I didn't know where to start. But you know what? I started and I kept going it, and I kept posting my progress and everything. And I think it's very, very important for people because a lot of women feel like, oh my God, this is over. Like, I think I'll never be able to rebuild this body,
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter. You still want to love yourself no matter how you look, but
Yeah.
it's okay to have a goal. It's like, maybe I can, enhance, and maybe I can improve. Maybe I can, look better for myself. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think you post, and I'm sure I love watching it because it was just like, I know, because I know it's hard. I know how hard it is.
I think that only when you have a baby do women really realize. Like, I always knew it was hard, but it's a whole different capacity.
Right.
Once your body goes through it, because before it's like, yeah, I'm in good shape, whatever, I'll be fine. But it doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in.
Right.
Obviously, if you're in good shape, it makes it a little
right.
easier, but it's still, your body is wrecked.
Right.
Like, nothing about coming back or rebuilding or whatever you want to call it is easy, no matter what kind of shape you're in before.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely, and the way your body reacts to working out was completely different. When I had first kid, when I had second kid, every time is different. It got harder when I had second kid, and I was just like, oh my God, I don't even know if I can come back again, So, and it did take me long, even though I was more fit. I was more fit with my second kid.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and it took me, I felt, it was harder for me, like it was just hard, I don't know why, like my body was so stubborn. Like, it would
but I hear that
change.
A lot. It's very normal.
So like my body would just not react to anything, and I just like stayed consistent, and eventually, okay, things started to shift, and again, it's consistency, and it's important for women to see that, like, if you do want change,
mm-hmm.
You gotta say, okay, I am important. This baby is important, but I'm important. I want to spend this time. I need help.
Yeah.
To get to this, to do this. Like,
yeah.
You need to help me to work out. I need help taking care of myself, because it is important. So, and it is possible, it is definitely possible.
It's, very, I think, in my mantra, which it's funny because most females that we've talked about this, the mantra always ends up being the same, even though we might not have ever spoken in our lives, but I'm not the first woman to go through this. This is what our bodies are made for. Like,
right.
It's such a, like, duh.
Right.
This is what our bodies are made to do. We'll be fine. But when you're in the moment, it's just such a mind fuck of like, but the baby and this and that, and it's a whole new, everything just, and I'm sure it's new every single time.
Right. Absolutely. Like and it's never easy, it's never easy. And I feel like, look, Izzy's 6 years old, and I still feel my body is different from when I had first kid. Like, it's still different. Like, I still feel it's not, I work out 5 days a week, but if I worked out like this 5 days a week before I had Izzy, my body would be different.
Right.
The way I react to food, the way I react to everything is just different. It's just different. And I accepted it, and I love the way I am, and I will never stop working out. And I now more enjoy the process and seeing little changes,
Right.
So I fell in love with the process rather than trying to strive to some sort of look.
Right. Well, and that's what we already discussed this, but that's what it's about. Like, enjoy the process. And if you do have an end, I want to look like X, hopefully you'll end up enjoying the process enough to continue even once you get there, and your goals will end up shifting.
Right. I'm more like watching a video. It's like, I want to squat like that. I want to squat that. Like, I don't even look at what she looks like.
Yeah.
I see her legs, and I was like, okay, how do I gain? How do I gain those legs?
Yeah.
So, like, I mostly look at it now. How do I put on that mass so I can squat more,
Totally.
So, which prompts me to eat more, So it's like, it's a whole new cycle again.
It is. It's a whole new cycle when you want to get stronger.
Right. So, which I think is very enjoyable,
100%.
So it's really a fun journey to getting stronger, And that's what we promote as a gym. Come get stronger with us.
It's good. That's all you can ask for. Stronger is healthy. Stronger. It's all these things that it just betters your life in every single way.
Exactly. So, and now it's pandemic, nothing to do. We want to focus on fitness, more than ever.
Being healthy.
Exactly. And come out from this pandemic, looking and feeling better.
That's the hope.
So
Well, thank you for your time. I am so
anytime.
happy we finally got to
I know,
meet.
so great.
We need to actually meet sooner than later in real life because we're neighbors.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. We gotta arrange that.
yes, please. That's it. Do you have anything you want to share? Anything you're working on? Anything? I'll include the links, your website, your handles, all this.
Yeah, still doing the same thing, and trying to work on different projects, and enhancing our services and give more, and have more options and have more services to our clients.
Yeah.
So when we are fully reopened, we can keep growing. You know. So we continuously try to invest in new equipment to when people are fully back in the gym, we'll have more. So we constantly reorganizing the gym and bringing more equipment that adds a lot of value to our members. So we just really focus right now on our facility.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Well, be well and stay well, and
thank you.
Good luck with everything, and I will keep following you and seeing what you're doing.
Awesome. I'll do the same.
Thanks, Vera.
Bye. Nice talking to you.
Yes, you too. See ya.